Monty, thank you so much for joining us once again. It's England versus Pakistan in the last test match of this series. And, it's been a frustrating day for Pakistan fans. I mean, England has literally out-batted them of this match, Monty.
Yeah, I think it's been more than a perfect day for England. They've kind of no one thought Zach Crawley would able to, continue to bat and, got out on 267. And that was obviously a batsman who got him out as well, stumped. But I think what's even more pleasing is that Joss Butler, do you remember Old Trafford, that fourth innings? If he got out early and Pakistan won that test match, Joss Butler would have been replaced, and now he scored 150. It's kind of like, kind of giving him a restart in Test cricket. And with Zach Crawley, everyone is saying, "Oh, we found a new number three." I don't think we haven't found a new number three yet. This is a very inexperienced Pakistani bowling lineup. We must remember, the likes of Yasin Shah, Shaheen Afridi, they haven't played a lot of first-class cricket, even though they
Naseem Shah, you mean?
Yeah, even though they look so, comfortable at international cricket. This is a very young team. Now, yes, Zach Crawley's, has had a really good innings, but, let's see what he's like in subcontinental conditions. Let's see what he's like against Australia in Australia. And I think everyone's shouting that we've got this new number three. Not yet. He needs to still prove it's just a one innings, like they say, once in a blue moon innings he's had. He's got still a lot to prove, in my opinion.
Right. I mean, it was an incredible innings, to say the least, considering he made like 267 and played so well. What was striking about his batting to you?
I think for someone like a young batsman, the way he just put any loose ball away, front foot, if it wasn't doing much, he'll just trust the pitch, and hit it all parts. So he's one guy, I reckon, 2020 and one-day cricket. That is something we would love to see Zach Crawley. He's played an innings, and let's give credit where it's due. What an unbelievable innings he has played for a youngster. I think the youngest, centurion after David Gower. So it just shows, the talent this person has. He can play all three formats. He'll play one days, T20, and we'd love to see his progression. He's someone that I think, there were a lot of ins and outs sort of cricketers coming in. England have finally said, yeah, we've got this young talent, and they should give him opportunity in all forms to see how good this kid is.
From a Pakistan perspective, like I said, a very, very frustrating day for the bowlers. They seem tired. They seem lethargic. It's almost like the burden of the runs is now really getting to them, and the whole team seems extremely deflated.
Pakistani team, we must remember, even though they showed, they're mature cricketers, they're still very young relative to, experience at international cricket. They're going to have some bad days. And when they have a bad day, it's going to be, not so great, but they will learn a lot. I don't want, the last thing you need is to act Azhar Ali as captain after this series. That would be completely the wrong decision. You need to keep backing him, and you need to give him a few more series. At least give him another 12 months, in my opinion, if this Pakistan team wants to build and be successful. A lot of people, I think, are expecting big results. Yep, they may haven't. They may be in winning positions, and it didn't come through for them. But you've got to be very patient with a young team. You can't just, make harsh decisions. In my opinion, they should continue to back Azhar Ali because I think he's a mature cricketer. He's someone who's had a lot of experience at international cricket. And there isn't a ready-made replacement. I don't see anyone replacing Azhar Ali because there isn't anyone there. So they should stick with him. But there needs to be some, development amongst the Pakistan team. This learning taking place. They're getting better as cricketers. And that will, we'll know that in the next 6 months, when there's hopefully other tours being, for Pakistan to play, to see how they improve. And this is a very difficult tour,
But Monty,
So
apart from the inexperience that you're pointing out, I mean, just in terms of because saying that the bowling is inexperienced is putting it very generically. What were they doing wrong in particular from what you saw? Why were they not able to get the England batsmen out? I mean, that is a question that needs to be answered. What do you think is the reason? Inexperience is just a generic
yeah,
way of
but look,
describing the whole side, the
yeah,
bowling
but
side.
Yeah, but Zainab, they don't have a lot of first class experience. They haven't played a lot of first class cricket. They just put into international cricket. There you go, raw pace, raw talent, and Pakistan do have that tendency to do that.
Yeah,
They
but
think,
what could
oh,
they have done differently? That's what I'm asking.
well, this is what I was saying. What they could have done differently was even what we talked about yesterday. Well, what we've talked about is how can the fast bowlers take wickets in front of square. Right? If behind square you can't get wickets, how can you get Yasin Shah to take in front of square? Why don't
The
you use
seam shot.
Yasin Shah, to go round the wicket and bowl really fast, and then have Mohammad Abbas bowling, up to the stumps. Like, how long did it take for Azhar Ali to bring Mohammad Abbas up to the stumps? We all know he averages under 10 when the batsman is in his crease. This is how effective Mohammad Abbas is. So why did it take so long to do these things? Because this is the inexperience. It took him, so many overs to think, right, maybe we just have to um, um, up the stumps.
But isn't it the bowler's prerogative as well to kind of take such decisions? And actually, there was a point in between in which Rizwan asked Abbas if he wanted him to come up, and at that time, I think Abbas kind of refused. So isn't it onto the bowler as well to be outsmarting the batsman?
I agree with you. Like Mohammad Abbas, he's played in Leicestershire and he's had a successful
He's
time
very
there.
experienced, so that
Yeah,
argument can't go for somebody like him.
you're absolutely right. And that's where this is the exact conversation that the Pakistan team need to have. That, guys, you as bowlers, experienced players, why weren't you being proactive and thinking, right, I want Rezwan up the stumps, and they should be, setting, their plans. And why wasn't that the case? These are the sort of conversations they're going to sit down and have. They're going to think, well, if we can't, what other methods are there if we take wickets? What other game plans do we have? How can we become more creative, as a team when we needed to take wickets? Why was our body language not great when it got really tough for us? As a team, are we only up for it when we know it's conditions favor us? That comes to attitude. So there's many questions that need to be answered, but let's not be so harsh on them. They're a young team, and let them give opportunity to grow, and they need to address these points. Yeah, you're absolutely right. People need to know, especially the Pakistani fans, why couldn't they get a wicket? Why did it take a bowler, to get a stumping, and that was actually bowling outside leg stump around the wicket as well. So it just kind of shows that Pakistan need to have more options, and I think they just lacked options when they're
They had
plan A.
options, though. I mean, my
Well,
question is exactly that, because you're basically have four bowlers in your side, out of which two are extremely inexperienced. They've, like you rightly pointed out, they've hardly got any first class games behind them, and Naseem Shah, he's raw at the moment. His body is already taking all that toll. It could absolutely result in an injury.
I think you're absolutely spot on there. And the thing is, he's a 17-year-old. They need to protect him. But then where is the rest of the bowlers? Why aren't
You
Pakistan
had
producing a batch
Fahim,
of...
you had Fahim Ashraf and Shadab Khan as your all-rounders. They are options that Pakistan have trusted in the past. I have to ask you, where are the tactics? Where is the strategy when going into a game? Because either you have a lot of experience. If Pakistan had somebody like Amir or Wahab Riaz who've played so many test matches, but they're not playing tests, then it makes sense to probably rely on them. But at least to me, because we're having a conversation about this, it is beyond me how we can actually, put all the burden on two youngsters who bowled hard in the first test, then bowled a little bit in the second one, and then come back, and now they're really sort of toiling around, on the field. So it comes back to the same question that I want to ask you, that strategy wise, it's the management's responsibility. So what are your thoughts on this?
Well, my thoughts are plain and simple. They should have had a rotation policy in place for the seamers, and they not play the same seamers every test match. And they need to have some sort of a strategy in place where they've got 6 to 8 good fast bowlers in the squad that they can rotate. Why didn't where are Riaz, the left arm fast bowler? Why didn't he play in the second test match? And give Shaheen Afridi a rest. Shaheen Afridi is a youngster still.
He's actually retired from tests. Wahab has retired from tests, but they do have other options in the squad.
Yeah, so they have other options in the squad, and why didn't they use any of them? And the question just comes down to that. Oh, this is our best attack. This is what we're going to play, and we refuse to rotate the seamers because either they don't have faith in the quality of the other seamers coming through, or they just believe that these three should play, especially Shaheen Afridi, Yasin Shah, Yasser Shah, which we know will play every game. But there needs to have some sort of rotation, because you can't just keep relying on the young seamers, because they're going to eventually get tired. They may not have the game plans in place because they're still learning about their cricket. And this is where the experience of the whole group and the coaching staff should think, right, if plan A doesn't happen, then we go to plan B, then we go to plan C. This is the area that this Pakistan team need to start developing if they want to become the #1 test in the world.
Yeah, and the other thing is, of course, now it's a situation where they've completely battered Pakistan out of the game, and in all probability, they cannot win this. What could they do tomorrow? Of course, in all sense, if England is declared, then Pakistan comes into it. It really is a test of Pakistan's batting, because everybody goes on about how slow and flat the pitch is. Then really Pakistan should be scoring runs on it.
Well, that's what we all think. And the trouble is, everyone is saying it's flat, and then suddenly England come on to bowl. They've rested for 2 days. They're probably bowling a little bit quicker, a little bit more fresher. The Pakistani batsmen are tired. They've been 2 days in the field, and they may not concentrate as well. The footwork may not be great. They may play a couple of loose shots. And then, they could crumble. That's that typical result we're talking about. I just hope that isn't the place. I really hope the likes of Azhar Ali, Babar Azam, some of these, experienced players, they're saying, what, let's fight this out. We've got to have, let's see if we can draw the test match. Let's see if we can bat, and not lose the next 20 wickets. It's basically now 20 wickets, for the next, couple of days at least, that they don't lose 20 wickets so quickly. How long can they bat out for 20 wickets? Can they bat another 200 overs or 250 overs for 20 wickets? That's how they should be thinking.
Absolutely. I think it is an opportunity for some of the batsmen to really step up and score some runs. A few of them are on the edge, including the captain. He hasn't really scored any runs. And it's fair to say that if he's unable to score runs now, his place in the side and his captaincy is going to be really under the scrutiny, at least back home. That much I know for sure.
Yeah, yeah, I fully agree with you. I think if Azhar Ali doesn't bat long period, he needs to at least bat 100, 200 balls. Do you know what I mean? We need at least that much. We can't just have him, have both innings get out really cheaply, and then Pakistan crumble. Then I think obviously I know Pakistan media, they're harsh when Pakistan lose, so they will be at Azhar Ali. So I think for Azhar Ali, I really hope he bats a long period of time, so they give him a chance to, prove himself as a test captain.
All right. Thank you so much for your thoughts, Monty, and I'll see you tomorrow.